Hello everyone, and welcome to Linux Forensics here at Pen Tester Academy. In this video, we're going to look at some of the packet dumps that were captured after a breach was suspected on the pas2 subject system. So you called the administrator, you walked him through installing Snort, which he did, and he was actually doing some full packet capture. So this was the John user, and if you look, you will see that sure enough, he has a packet capture here for you. So let's have a look at this in Wireshark and see if, in fact, this is useful. Once again, we've mounted our file system onto our forensics workstation so we can have a look. And naturally, that file system includes this packet capture. So go ahead and bring it up into Wireshark, and we get the standard warning. Don't run Wireshark as root, but if you don't, it's pretty worthless. So probably one of the dumbest warnings ever. All right, so here we can see there's a whole bunch of traffic on port 22, most likely. So let's have a look at this. We'll say TCP port equals 22, and we see that there is still quite a bit of traffic. In fact, almost all of the traffic is still here. There's an awful lot going on port 22 by people that have logged in via SSH. And of course, it's all encrypted. So knowing exactly what's happening here is a little bit difficult. You can't exactly just unencrypt all of this. What about our drop bear? We had a drop bear backdoor installed. Let's see if we found any traffic for that. That was on port 44965. And sure enough, we can see a test of this drop bear backdoor. So here we can see that coming in from the .1 machine, which again, since this was run in a virtual machine, is where all the traffic's going to come from. We have a connection, and then we have responses, connection, responses. We look into this packet, we should be able to see some of the metadata and also able to see the actual data itself that was transmitted. Now, if we go and look at some other items, we should be able to figure out the actual calendar time of this test. And going through the file system and looking at what's going on there and going through other system logs, I was able to determine that this happened on May 4th. So the day after the main breach occurred on May 3rd was when this test was performed. We see some web traffic here. You might ask yourself if any of this is malicious web traffic. You would have to look into the actual packets in order to get a feel for that. So if we examine some of this web traffic, or what appears to be web traffic, we should be able to see some standard requests being sent, if in fact this is legitimate web traffic, and that doesn't seem to be what we're getting. This might make you somewhat suspicious that someone is using one of these backdoors that were installed. So let's have a look and say, what if we want to look at all the traffic that was not port 80 and not 22 and not 44965. Let's see if there's anything left. And we do have some traffic left. So we see that there is a little bit of traffic that is using HTTPS, POP3, which is kind of interesting. This one is using a port of 8080, so there might be something to look at there as well. The MySQL traffic, IMAP traffic. So it looks like there's actually quite a bit of traffic that you wouldn't necessarily expect on this domain. Now, one thing you'll note is, what is this traffic? This traffic here appears to be part of a port scan that was performed from that machine to the .1 machine. So someone on the subject system tried to probe back. Again, this could be an indication of an attacker who is running an Nmap scan. Here we see an FTP connection being made and another apparent port scan. So let's have a look at FTP connections as well. We'll go ahead and clear this, and we'll look here, TCP port == 21. We'll see if there was any significant FTP traffic, and apparently there was not, at least not in this packet capture. Now remember what we said before in a previous video. There's evidence that the attacker ran Hydra against FTP on the local host. Notice that this packet capture doesn't capture any of that traffic. So that's a smart move on the attacker's part in order to avoid detection. Since they've already gotten onto the system, their foot's in the door, so to speak, they can then use that, try to gain some further access and get deeper and deeper into the system. Well, that's all for this video. As always, if you're enjoying these videos here at Pen Tester Academy, please tell a friend. We'll see you soon.